Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, question. Are boxing fans idiots? I don't know. We got to do that because, sport fans, we get into it with sports all over the world. Sometimes you got to think about them soccer fans, hooligans and stuff like that. It can get weird, you know. So fans of sport can be, crazy at times. But boxing fans, for some reason, are very special. Let's put it like that. We don't want to call them idiots, right? But we're going to see a lot of things going up into this fight of Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. And right now, they had an interview, and it's the talk of the town because what Canelo Alvarez has done to the resume of Terence Crawford shows that either he's an idiot or he knows his fans are idiots. One of the two. Because what we're doing here, he says that Terence Crawford hasn't fought anyone elite. What's going on here, and it's, Canelo has done this on several occasions against fighters he doesn't want to fight, is, they haven't fought anybody. Now, what you're doing is you're calling a whole lot of people nothing. A whole lot of boxers, right? A whole lot of boxers. And that's the pot calling the kettle black when it comes to Canelo. Because let's just stop there. Who has Canelo fought that's elite? Because we got to remember, Crawford's still undefeated. And he's beaten everybody with distance in, except Majimov is the closest fight, right? Canelo, who has Canelo beat that was elite? And then you got a problem there. You see what I'm saying? Right there. Then you're going to stop at Gennady Golovkin. And that was a whole lot of controversy there. Who has he beat? Who, that was elite. So when you're looking at stuff like that, you got to be thinking, damn, Canelo, that's something you probably don't want to be talking about when we're talking about Terence Crawford. Now, there's a lot of fighters Terence Crawford beat that were very, very good. Elite is something that, I don't know what we're saving that from. Something like Hall of Fame. It's like a subjective type of thing. Who are we going to call elite? You know what I mean? But very, very good damn fighters. Terence Crawford has beaten a lot of them. And remember, he's not been in close fights. All right? So I don't know if we want to be calling that not elite. Now, when it comes to Terence Crawford, how he answered the question has also got some people in uproar or a big question mark over their head. Is where when he was questioned that by Canelo Alvarez, he said, Victor Postol, right? And, me, I'm like, yeah, you damn right, Victor Postol, right? I lived through it and understood. A lot of people are like, why would he mention Victor Postol and not a Sean Porter and a Errol Spence and all that stuff? Because you're not Terence Crawford, right? You have to have empathy. Try to think if you were Terence Crawford. We're talking about something that Canelo hasn't been through. Victor Postol, you're damn right, he says, Victor Postol. Damn right. At the time when he fought Victor Postol, he wasn't even favored. Victor Postol is baby Vitaly Klitschko. Victor Postol was about 31-0 or something at the time. Because I don't, before I do stuff like this, I don't even go in box rec stuff. This is just because I lived through it. I can remember who Victor Postol was. Victor Postol was coming off of beating Lucas Martisi. Lucas Martisi from Argentina, it was the most heavy-handed 140-pounder at the time. Heavy-handed. He had only lost, I think, to Danny Garcia when he knocked Danny Garcia's mouthpiece out. Damn, they beat Danny Garcia, but everyone else was getting knocked the hell out when it came to Lucas Martisi. Heavy-handed Argentina, great boxer and would had heavy-handed. And Postol got rid of him. I don't know if he knocked him out, but he beat him, and it wasn't really close or nothing. Victor Postol was the boogeyman. And they didn't think Terence, fight him. You know how they do if the Eastern European is looking great. You ain't want none of him. You don't want none of him, right? That's elite at the time. Someone that they consider is going to beat you. I think we should call that elite, because let's get to Canelo right now. Who did Canelo fight that we were saying, oh, you can't beat him? Matter of fact, in his career, the only one is maybe your boy Gennady Golovkin. We dragged him to fight Gennady Golovkin. That's it, right? And he didn't. There's no distance there. There was distance between Victor Postol and Terence Crawford, but that's a guy that they thought was going to beat him. Do you understand? That's a difference there. So he goes in there and fights him. Then he mentioned also Ricky Burns. Now, if you're Terence Crawford, you're going to always mention Ricky Burns. You go to, I think it was Manchester, England, somewhere in England or something like that, right? Where he came from. You went to his backyard and took the title off of him for your very first title. That's going to always be in Terence Crawford's heart. Terence Crawford has done a lot of things in boxing, but he says himself, it's going to be harder to be bigger than that, because that's when he got his first title. That's the thing he had wanted to achieve in his life, and he went there to get it in his backyard, right? And Ricky Burns, everyone wasn't beating him in his backyard, right? Was he elite? Probably not, but for Terence Crawford, that was a huge occasion. That's why those names came up. Now, when he goes up to, of course, beating a Sean Porter with some distance, beating a Errol Spence with some distance, beating a Kell Brook with some distance, beating a Jose Benavidez with some distance, beating a Mean Machine with some distance, right? All of that, right? It was awesome, because even Jeff Horn had just beat Manny Pacquiao. Being Manny Pacquiao is elite. When an elite dude used his feet, right? All right? An elite dude used his feet. And what I mean by that, he used them feet to not fight Terence Crawford. That's elite. We couldn't get the elite, right? Couldn't elite get the elite. The elite, use them feet, right? And that's what happened. We all know Manny Pacquiao didn't want none. So that's also something. So when it comes to resumes, I would say that Terence Crawford's resume is better than Canelo Alvarez's resume, because he's fought and beat these people. He didn't just get in the ring. Canelo, we always try to give him credit for being in the ring with, oh, he fought Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, well, continue that sentence when you finish. Yeah, he fought Floyd Mayweather and lost every damn round, right? He fought Erislandy Lara. Yeah, he fought Erislandy Lara. Really got beat and robbed Erislandy Lara. Come on, let's be real. He fought Gennady Golovkin, right? Yeah, he fought Gennady Golovkin. Lost that first fight, definitely. Got a draw. Just stood in front of him the second fight. We gave him props for standing there, which, make sure this is clear, people, because we want... Canelo didn't stand in front of Gennady Golovkin in that first fight, talking about he won a smaller ring, right? He didn't do that. He stood in front of and got props for standing in front of Golovkin in the second fight. People gave him that fight only because he fought Mexican style. He still didn't beat Golovkin. I would give him a draw on that one, and most people would have. Not beating Golovkin, but they gave him a lot of props. Hey, you didn't run this time, right? That's how that stuff goes. So Canelo can also get on that bike too, by the way, when he thinks it's what it takes to win. So I'm just saying, it's a lot of hypocrisy going on here. Listen, guys, when it comes to boxing, we're not idiots, right? We're either racist or not. You know how I feel about racism. I'll say it again. Racism trumps everything else, pun intended, right? It just does. It blocks you from thinking objectively, because you're not. And even if you could think objectively at your home by yourself, you're not going to present that to anybody else, because you just are that way, right? And I think we're never going to get it together until racism is considered a sickness or a crime, so we can get rid of it, right? Because it destroys everything we're trying to do here. It's just everything. People are just nuts because of it. And I know it's alien, because it can't be that a human race, right? That we know that everything is damaged because of climates, that we're worried about colors of the skin. That's what it, I mean, really, it's really silly if you really look at it. If you can just scroll out and look at the human race, like, yeah, that's what you guys are going to consider the difference. So you guys can hate each other is because of that. Damn, it's hot over here. That's why they got that skin. It's cold over there. That's why they got that. It was really, we can't figure it out. But whatever, that's another thing. Bottom line is this: Terence Crawford's resume is great. It's not even lukewarm. It's really great. He beat a lot of people who were supposed to beat him, right? A lot of people that were bigger than him. A lot of them. Canelo hasn't done that. Everybody that was supposed to beat Canelo, Canelo gave y'all excuses for why he's not going to fight him. And you guys liked that he didn't fight him, right? I did that in my last video. It's a whole lot of them that he just wouldn't fight. And every time somebody's pretty hard, right, then it's some kind of controversy. And he has losses already. Remember, we know how good Dimitri Bivol is now. Canelo thought that was the easier route instead of fighting Beterbiev. Canelo thinks that Terence Crawford is the easier route instead of fighting Benavidez, right? Or David Morrell, for that matter. Or going up to 175, fighting Bivol again, or Beterbiev. So the easiest route is the smaller Terence Crawford, right? I'm just being straight up. He ain't fighting nothing hard because he's talking about Terence Crawford, come stand up in front of me. But all those big dudes, they would. Do you think we'd have a problem with Beterbiev standing in front of him? Do you really think so? Do you think we'd have a problem with Benavidez standing in front of him? Do you really think so? Think we'd have a problem with David Morrell standing in front of him? Do you really think so? See what I'm saying? So back off with the BS. Bottom line is this: Terence Crawford's resume is not only good, it's better than Canelo's because of the distance with all his fights. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm about here, y'all.